Hello, everyone, and welcome today to another Ask the Expert event on the Now community. Today we have Krista Forget, and she will be presenting Parental Leave Employee Journey. Welcome.
Hi, everyone. I'm Krista, and I'm a product manager here in our HR business unit. I'm going to be talking about our Parental Leave Employee Journey, and I'm actually joined today also by Kyle Sanders. Kyle, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. Kyle Sanders. I'm a product manager within our HR business unit, focusing on product adoption.
So things we're going to cover today, I'm actually going to give you a brief overview of employee journeys and what they are, and then I'll introduce you to the Parental Leave Employee Journey, which is new in our New York release. And then I'll give you a little bit of show and tell to walk you through this employee journey as well. Before I get into the topics of today, just to give you a quick reminder, in case you've missed recent Ask the Expert sessions from our HR business unit, there's a few we've had recently on a virtual agent, the mobile onboarding app, and our SAP SuccessFactors integration. You can catch the recordings for those on our community if you didn't have a chance to attend live. We also have a Ask the Expert session coming up at the end of this month around employee forums. So don't forget to catch that if that's of interest to you. So to give you a little bit of context about employee journeys, one of the things that we hear a lot from our customers is, where do I get started when they're trying to either start their implementation or maybe expand some of the use cases they're using for ServiceNow? They really want some guidance about how we provide out-of-the-box experiences to their users, to their employees. So one of the things we're doing in our HR business unit is trying to deliver more guidance in our product on how to have a great employee experience in ServiceNow. To give you a little bit of background, so far, up until today in our product, we've covered a lot of different use cases with out-of-box content and configurations. We provide different materials around different life events, health, money, work life, career, HR systems, and that comes in a variety of different formats, everything from the COEs to different HR services, different document types, some life cycle events, and on and on. So we've been doing this for several releases over the years, but something new that we're introducing now to extend our strategy around what we deliver out of box is called employee journeys. So employee journeys really focus on the moments that matter that employees go through in their journey with your company. These basically serve as our sort of reference implementation for a specific use case. What we do is configure different elements of what that looks like in ServiceNow, provide some curated content, and package that together for you to help accelerate your implementation. So the first version of that is actually what we delivered in New York around the parental leave use case. For the parental leave use case, we're actually focusing on one particular type of leave of absence. So like I mentioned, employee journeys are going to give our customers a package of pre-configured content, things like emails, portal content, and campaigns, really to serve as a blueprint to start your process of using this in ServiceNow. For customers who want best practice guidance, this is going to specifically help them implement a use case of adding a child to their family. So employees who need to take time off work because they're having a child, adopting, and they need some guidance around that process. The employee has a lot going on. They need to know how to manage the things that come along with taking this time off work. Now, this content can have a lot of different benefits. The first and foremost is that because we've pre-built these content and configurations, it's really going to be a launching point to your implementation. It's all built out of the box, so you can still configure it as needed. But one of the great things about this is it can support your employees through their journey, because we've based this on insights from our customers, from industry professionals, and a lot of other market research. So this is a really great guide and starting point to what a good experience looks like. Because this is already pre-configured, you can use this to implement faster, and that increases your return on your investment when you have a faster time to value. So the next thing I'm going to do is walk you through what that experience looks like at just a brief high level. So one of the things that we've done with this employee journey is actually lay out the stages that an employee goes through when they take this leave of absence, starting from them finding information before they submit a request. So in our first stage, employees might learn about the leave process, so they can find where and how to submit a leave request, and they get acknowledgement that HR has received their request. HR is also going to be tasked to make sure that they have a consultation with the employee as well to guide them through that high-touch element. Through the approval process, the employee can be tasked to upload any documents as needed, but they can also find information on how to have conversations with their manager, learn about other perks that are available to them. And then once that approval has gone through, they enter the planning phase. Oops, sorry, I advanced a little too quickly there. So in the planning phase, employees will also learn about everything they need to get ready to go on leave. They'll be given some tools to guide them through that process. They can connect with other working parents at the company through their community. And then HR also has tasks, and managers have tasks to guide them through that part of the process. As the employee goes on leave, we also have, again, more of this curated content for them to help them through that process. Any activities HR needs to do to notify the manager they're on leave, update payroll, or any other departments, they can do as well. And then once the leave is just about done, the employee will come and have resources to help plan their return. The manager is also reminded of things that they can do to plan for their return, and HR gets ready for their return to work. And then once they're back at work, employees can get content to help them transition back into their role. Managers are guided through this process, and then HR updates any payroll or IT elements that they had turned off before as well. So, like I mentioned, this is basically a package of content and configurations that were pre-built. What that means in a more technical and tactical way is there's a lifecycle event pre-configured around this use case. There's the parental leave guide, so a set of content on the employee service center for the employee to learn about the process. There's also a campaign that targets information to the employee once they've submitted their request, and then once they return back to work. We have some samples of knowledge articles and where they can be recommended to employees and managers along the way. And then we also have a way to record the data around the employee's leave of absence. So this is a bunch of different activity sets, catalog items, HR services, templates, criteria, and so on. So we've pre-configured all of this out of the box. I won't go through all of the details on this page, but to give you an idea, the lifecycle event that I mentioned is pre-configured with the most common steps that we learned from talking to customers and industry professionals about what this experience looks like, and also from researching what users would find most helpful. So from the point of requesting leave to getting it approved, preparing for leave, all the way to taking leave and coming back, the most common types of things that an employee, their manager, or fulfillers in HR need to do to support this process are pre-configured in our lifecycle event. So before I go So what I'm going to go ahead and do next, unless there's any questions that we've had, is give you a little demo, a little show and tell to show you this live. Okay. Let me just go ahead and switch my screen here. All right, so here I am in the Employee Service Center, and I'm logged in as Maria. Oops, I have it's a little too magnified here. Sorry about that. So I'm logged in as our employee Maria in the Employee Service Center. She's an employee who's interested in taking a parental leave of absence, and she's found this employee's guide to parental leave. Now, she may have found this through a knowledge article linking to it, or maybe there's some other content on the Employee Service Center that led her to here, or perhaps she asked for information and the HR directed her here. But when she comes here, she can see right away an overview of what that process looks like. She can find information about the basics of parental leave, what she needs to do to take a step, and how to use this guide as well. She can look through the different stages of this content at any time, but once she's ready, she can go ahead and submit her leave request. So here we've pre-built a record producer with the types of questions that are typically needed to get the start of a leave request into HR. So I'm going to go ahead and just pick a start date and an end date. Optionally, we can put in an estimated due date or adoption date, as this can help look at the leave calendar and leave benefits. Emily can choose her parenting situation and how she prefers to be contacted. I'll go ahead and submit that. So here, now that she's submitted her request for leave, she's been automatically brought to her ticket page. She can see right away that she has a request to be reviewed by HR, and assigned to her, she has a task to tell her manager that she's taking parental leave. Along with that, she's actually been linked to a knowledge article that gives her some tips on how to have this conversation. Once she's done with that, she can go ahead and complete her parental leave, her task. And then she also sees that she has a document to upload. Something that she can also see is the tasks that are assigned to others. This is just the out-of-the-box functionality of a life cycle event. But she's gone ahead and gotten those tasks started right away, and can see what else is coming next. Now, just quickly, I'm going to go ahead and show you from her manager's point of view. We're going to log in as Maria, her manager. So Maria has this task to review how parental leave works, because Emily just said that she had a conversation with her manager. So now there's been that conversation. Maria, her manager, can actually find a manager's guide to leave where the overview of the process and her role as a manager is described to her, and she's given some resources to look at coverage and backfill. So this sample knowledge article is linked up there with this task that's already pre-configured. Once she's read that, she can go ahead and acknowledge that as well. So I'm actually going to go ahead and switch over to the view of our agent. We're going to go to our HR cases here. And we have this new case in our queue here. Oh, sorry, I didn't click on that right enough. So Roger, our HR agent, can go ahead and start work on this request for Emily. He can see that this task for Emily and Maria to talk about the leave request was already done. We've pre-configured this case with some fulfillment instructions, and those leave details that Emily submitted on her request form are actually also here in this tab for parental leave details, all pre-configured on this case. So, you know, as Roger has a consultation with Emily and talks to her about her request, if there's anything about her personal situation that would change any of this information, he can go ahead and change it from here. So for example, maybe he talks to her about wanting to start her leave a little bit sooner or extend it out a little bit further. He can change those dates. And once all the approval steps have been done to get the paperwork in place or any manager conversations that have to happen, he can also change her leave status to approved right there so it's easy to track. He can also go, he or any other agent that has access to Emily's HR profile can also go to her HR profile and see a new leave status here. So you can see that her leave status is approved. So if he's not looking at the case itself, he can understand that she's obviously planning for a leave of absence. So one other quick thing I'm going to show you is the view for an admin. Like I mentioned, you know, all of this has been pre-configured. So if there's a change to your situation, or if your situation just requires a slightly different process, you can take what we've configured out of the box and do something a little bit different. So let's take, for example, here, there's a leave request approval for the manager. So there's an activity that the manager gets where they might need to approve what they're getting. Out of the box, if you want to add a different audience to this or remove an audience, you can go ahead and update that. Or let's say you want to start getting feedback a little closer to the time when the employee starts going out on leave. You can just change how many days before that they get a prompt for a survey to get feedback on their experience. Another thing you could do is take a look at this employee guide and see if there's any changes to the content here. Like I mentioned, the employee Emily can get different content throughout her process that's relevant to that particular stage. The questions that are most common for employees, information she needs to be aware of, tools to help her plan going out on leave or coming back. So let's say this content that comes out of the box, you might want to change some of the wording around here. So as an admin, you could go into your portal content and make a change. So we're going to go ahead and just real quick show you, this is all out of the box. We have this, a recommendation for a knowledge article here on how to review what to expect. So we're going to go into that particular widget content. This is the CTA for when Emily comes back to work. So we'll just go ahead and change that headline text. We'll just say, welcome back from your leave. And then we can go ahead and see our changes already made right here. So that's basically an overview of the process. We have, like I showed you, the life cycle event, this the guide to leave of absence, the sample knowledge articles, and all the sort of underlying building blocks that are required for this. That's my quick demo. If anyone has any questions that's watching live, happy to answer them.
Nope, no questions so far.
Okay, great. So just one quick, so the departing information. So if you're interested in learning more about this employee journey, we have information on our product doc site. Under our HR service delivery, you can look for employee journeys and then the parental leave of absence. We also just put up a post on the blog at community.servicenow.com. So you can go under human resources to see the parental leave employee journey blog post. And then just a few common questions that we've heard. Sometimes, what's required to use the parental leave employee journey. So this is, like I showed you, it uses the lifecycle event engine for HR services. So you want to make sure you have access to that. Let's see, I actually just saw a question from Angela come through. Okay, so Angela's asking about in Europe, it's very normal to have part-time parental leave. How would a journey like that look? So what we've done for our employee journey is a continuous leave of absence. You could configure the life cycle then differently to accommodate your process. For the sake of getting you kind of, 60 to 80% of the way started, we just have it as someone going out on leave and coming back, but you could still use the life cycle event engine to do that if you'd like. Kyle, did you have anything else you wanted to add to that?
No, that's great.
Okay. So some other questions that we hear sometimes is what can be changed or not changed in the journey. So everything is built based on out-of-box functionality as of New York. So anything that you could change with the typical functionality that's shipped in those components or widgets or different elements that comes out of the box, you could change with this. We've just done the configuration or placed the content in for you. And then lastly, if you want to get started, the way that you can get this is to activate a plugin. It's called the Human Resources Scoped App Parental Leave Journey. So you can activate that plugin to get access to these configurations and the content.
Actually, Krista, that one other question did come in. Do you have anything to support a break in the leave? So what happens if the baby passes, for example, miscarriage, et cetera?
Yeah, so, I mentioned the leaves of absence record. We have a table and those different leave statuses. If there's, something happens and the leave gets cut short, or if before the leave is taken, let's say someone has an adoption fall through, and they need to cancel it. So there is a status that you can change to canceled, and then you can close the case. So from a data perspective, we built in the possibility of doing that. You can change the leave date or the leave status at any time, or you can end it earlier, or you can extend it if someone needs more time as well. So, so that's what we have felt that you can do to support those sorts of situations. Right. So I don't see any other questions on the line unless you have anything you saw come up, Kyle.
No, nothing. Maybe give it another minute, but then I think we should be good.
Okay. All right.
Also, it's a great reminder that with the URL that we've posted in the chat, then you can always post your questions later for Krista or Kyle to come back and answer for you. That is the community link where you found this Zoom webinar URL. The video recording is also embedded in that page so that you can come back and refer to it and share it with other your colleagues. And so let us know if you have any other questions. So we can, but if not, we'll just conclude for the day and find you all in the community. Krista?
Yeah, I think that's all we had to share today, and I don't know of any other questions coming in. So with that, I think we can go ahead and call it a